How you guys doing? This is Mike with 603 MTech, and this is our second podcast. And now we got the techs, and we even got Sebastian with us. So today we're really gonna just introduce ourselves and really just showcase where we started. So we got Sebastian here. We all know he's our media guy, but in our last podcast, we really didn't say where he really started from. We kind of went back and forth with that, and I got a lot of heat for that. But, this time we're really going to showcase that because you guys got to understand, like, we wouldn't be here. All four of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our guy Sebastian. He's able to showcase what we do, and that's what makes us great. But like I said in the last podcast, we're always trying to be better. So you got my man Sebastian here. So tell me, Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
Where did it all start, man? Like let them know. Like, it's not just about media. What else is it about?
Well, are we talking about where did it start, mechanic-wise or media-wise?
I think we start with where. Well, let's start mechanic because that was first. Wait,
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
What came first?
What came first?
That's what
Media.
I want to know. I don't even know.
Media came first.
Media came first. Yeah. Okay, so give us a little backstory on the media part. Like, give us how it evolved into cars.
I mean, I could go way back to when I was like 5 years old holding our VHS camcorder filming the family dinner. But where it really started, I'd say, is freshman year of high school when I took my first media class.
Okay.
Immediately hooked. And honestly, I got into marketing right away, and I was trying to figure out how I could turn this camera business into a help people grow a business kind of thing. So from freshman year of high school, myself and a friend were emailing businesses offering video services to promote their businesses and showcase their services. So that's really where it started off.
Okay. So why cars? Like,
Why cars?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was into cars since a kid, but I'd say like 6 months out of high school, I was just laying in bed one morning and I was like, I kind of need a job. So I wanted to teach myself hard work, so I figured might as well combine the two passions for cars and wanting to learn hard work. And I started applying to be a tire guy at tire shops.
Okay.
And that's where it started.
So what you're saying is you're just a hard worker. You don't want it easy. You don't want to be
I didn't want
pushing
it easy.
carts or anything like that.
I wanted to learn what it was like to wake up early and do physical labor all day.
It's hard being in the service industry because you got to be a bird.
A lot of people want to do that. Wake up early and physical labor.
I felt like I was too lazy. I was sitting around too much. I wanted to teach myself hard work, so I threw myself straight into the industry.
Just that drive.
Yep.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It gets tough.
Yeah, eventually.
So what was like the hardest part when you started working in an automotive industry?
Oof, the hardest part, man.
Tough questions.
I think it's because I was called the pretty boy.
Pretty boy.
I was the pretty boy.
And you see those boots? Raise them up for the camera.
Yeah.
I was the tech that didn't want to get dirty.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wanted to work on cars.
I wanted to work, but I didn't want to get dirty. So I got a lot of slack for that one.
You're not the only one like that, though.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's me, but I've heard a lot of technicians say that.
Yeah.
A lot of techs. It's true. A lot of the guys, especially
Cleaner work, right?
the diagnostic technicians, they still love working on cars, but they just don't want to get dirty.
Right.
So they'd rather kind of get down and dirty, whatever.
Does anybody want to get dirty?
I mean, shoot.
I feel like some people don't care. Like some people just don't wear gloves, go straight into it. I was like, I cannot have a smudge of oil on my finger. I refuse.
Yeah, I mean, you get gloves on to hold the camera.
Right. So you worked in a tire shop.
Yep.
Okay, and then after a tire shop, like, did you do anything else?
So I was a tech at that tire shop for probably 3 months.
Okay.
And the district manager saw that I was very involved with how to make that shop more efficient and what was better for techs. So the district manager promoted me to service manager of that shop. I did that for another few months, and then I was like, all right, I feel like I've reached my limit with little tire shops.
Right.
So I moved on to the dealership world. That's where I became a tech at Toyota.
Okay. Now, as a service advisor or service manager, what did you learn?
As a service manager,
Yeah.
My biggest thing was not being a salesman, but being someone that helps people.
Right.
And that's why so many people specifically came to me, like customers, because they knew I would tell them what they actually needed and not what I was looking for to make my sales check bigger.
So tell me, like, you worked at a tire shop.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I started a tire shop as well. But like, what made you so in tune to try to make that place better?
I feel like that's just kind of the person I am. Whatever I do, I become very involved in it.
Right.
Maybe sometimes too much. But, you know, I see an environment, and after a couple of months of learning how it runs, all I can think about is how can this be better? So, especially as a tech standpoint,
right.
What can I do to make it better for the techs? You know, I'd always question them, you know, should we do this? Should we do that? Like, what would you guys prefer for your workflow?
And you know what? That's like very, very important because you have the passion, you have the drive, and those are what I call game changers. You know what I mean? Like you're the difference maker. You're gonna go above and beyond. And you're gonna think about every little thing that's gonna make it easy for your job to operate and also other people's jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's huge, and that's a really great feature to have. 100%. And that's really what's gonna really take you to the top. But is there like a message that you could just give like these young guys that say, even if, for an example, when I graduated school, the first job that I landed, they did automotive repair, but it was also a tire shop.
Right.
It was mainly doing tires. I just felt like they were the first ones to give me the option to work there, so I took that job. But it was a little discouraging because I wasn't making that much money as I thought.
Right.
So say if one of these guys graduate from a college, high school, and they want to work in a shop, what is one message that you could give them?
I mean, I kind of touched on this on our first podcast episode, but people are going to be tough on you, and you're going to get thrown into a lot of politics. And I would say just keep your head down, focus on you and becoming a better tech, and then the rest will come on its own.
I love that. I love that. So
There's a lot to Sebastian I didn't know. Here we are in the podcast.
It's crazy. So that all stems, I mean, I don't know if everybody watched our last podcast, but so, you know, you started with media, then you went in automotive. So how did you get into Mercedes-Benz?
I was honestly pretty upset at that point with how the automotive industry had, you know, how it runs in today's world.
Right.
And all, you know, like I said, all the politics and the drama.
Right.
So I figured, let me try what is the best. You know, Mercedes is the best or nothing. I went on the Mercedes-Benz technician website where they have this like assessment you can do. And if you pass the assessment, it gets passed on to your local dealership. I figured I'll try out Mercedes. And if this doesn't work out, this ain't for me.
Right.
Because this is the top.
Right.
And that's how I got into Mercedes.
So at your time at so how long were you at Mercedes?
Not long. Probably like 6 months, honestly.
6 months.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think you reached out to me before you reached out. Before you went to Mercedes, I think you reached out to me.
No, I reached out to you when I was on Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what was one thing that, why were you looking for other options after you were working at Mercedes? What was like the biggest thing that stood out to you?
Honestly, it wasn't so much Mercedes themselves or the cars. It was just being in that dealership and just being reminded over and over, no matter where I went, it was the same story of, you know, just be honest, just bullshit. You
Right.
can never do your job without dealing with constant bullshit.
Right.
That's what had me seeking what else can I do
Right.
with a passion.
Right.
And I wasn't specifically looking for something, but it was Chris
Right.
that messaged me randomly one day while I was at Mercedes
Right.
that he knew this guy that had just started his own shop, was
Yeah.
doing mobile,
Yeah.
worked on his car.
Yeah.
I should reach out and see if he needs any help.
Right. No, that means a lot. And so I think really a big thing that I want to say is like, it's not, say, Mercedes dealers that is the issue, or it's to me, it's just a industry.
Correct.
It's an industry issue, and that's why we're talking about it.
No, there's
Yes.
a lot of fantastic dealerships out there.
There is.
Yeah.
And I
Honestly,
think in our
honestly.
podcast, I talk about a lot of them, but there's a lot of good and bad. And you know what? When it comes to independence too, I'm not saying this place is the best place to work at.
No, there's some bad independents as well.
Right.
I think that's important to
Right.
know.
And there's things that independents lack that dealerships do way better.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, where do you want to take it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, to you, we got my man right to my right, Adam. He holds it down in the shop. So, where did you start?
Where did I start?
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
just like what made you?
how far back?
All right, let's just go back to what
Education?
Made you, well, not even education. Let's talk about like what made you like cars.
What made me like cars? Honestly, kind of like I've always had interest in motorcycles,
Yep.
cars in general. Honestly, where it started was high school.
Okay.
My buddy had a MK2 GTI
VR6 or what?
VR6, and he also had a VRT, which is the turbo.
Ooh,
And,
that was like my dream.
This kid, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where he got the money. I'll be honest. But he just had like a Fox body Mustang, like
Yep.
massive turbo on it, like
Yep.
70 mil turbo on it, and it was straight up for the track.
Wow.
And we were driving it to MST, which was the high school automotive class
Okay.
from Goffstown.
All right.
And it was not meant for the street. But, of course, it was a track to the school,
Right.
of course. But anyways, yeah, so we would rip that every day. And honestly, that's where it really started. We're like, all right, I really want to be involved with the automotive industry.
Right.
And then that's where I went to school for it, for
Right.
high school.
Okay.
And then went to an independent shop from there.
How did you do? Like 4 years in high school? 2
2
years?
years. 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
How was the process? Like,
Simple.
Pretty
I
simple?
would do, it'd just be general schooling, and then halfway through, I'd go to the automotive high school on the other part.
nice.
It was pretty easy. You
Okay.
know, I mean, it was basically the basics. It wasn't anything, but honestly, it was a huge help. You could tell when kids went to college for automotive, you could tell the ones that didn't, go to school with it or grew up with someone that knew how to work on cars.
Absolutely.
I thought it was very important, like just that transition from high school to college.
Right.
Like I said, you can tell
Right.
the difference.
Right. No, absolutely. So after high school, then what?
Went to college.
Okay, and then what?
So basically, all through high school and college, I worked at an independent shop. It was mostly European, so Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, you name it.
Okay.
So basically, I was there all through, like I said, high school and college, and then after that, I went to Mercedes-Benz after I
Mercedes-Benz.
graduated college.
And then, so tell me, how long did you work at Mercedes-Benz?
About 5 years.
Same dealer?
Same dealer.
Same dealer?
Same dealer.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And so what made you go from an independent shop to the dealership?
So really, I just wanted to learn one brand, because an independent, it's very tough. There's all sorts of different systems, different names, different wiring diagrams. I really just wanted to kind of be a master at one brand and go from there. Now, the reason why I picked Mercedes-Benz is actually very, very simple, and you won't believe me.
Listen, I do believe you because, a lot of people don't understand is like there's kids that graduate at school and go straight to Mercedes-Benz.
Mm-hmm.
But you started very much like I did, and you worked on Volkswagens, Porsches, everything. You saw a totally different
Porsche.
Porsche.
Not Porsche.
All right, well, anyway, I'm gonna call it Porsche on on the podcast. All right,
But it's Porsche.
All right.
Porsche.
Porsche.
All right, go ahead.
Anyways, you worked on all those brands,
Yeah.
and that to me is like you understood how other brands were and how they came
Yeah.
apart.
Honestly, I loved it. I mean, I learned a lot. I worked on under some fantastic technicians.
Right.
It was, like I said, I just wanted to learn one brand.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with sticking with multiple brands. I
Right.
just think it was a little harder at the time.
Okay. So why didn't you stick with Porsche?
Look, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I worked on all different car brands.
And
And at the time when I was in obviously high school
Yeah.
and college, I just did oil changes and basic stuff. So
Right.
Mercedes-Benz had the easiest under panels to take off.
That was it.
I swear to God.
they really do though.
Dude, you take an Audi off
Audi,
or
yeah.
Toyota.
Why?
There's gonna
think
be like 5 screws.
Why do you
missing.
think when I had the
It's
A7,
true.
I made him do the oil change?
Yeah. And what did I say about his
Because there's
underbody
like 4
panel?
different bolts for one panel.
Dude, I feel like, come on, though. See, you
It's
get
dumb.
that.
It's
I
dumb.
was just like, honestly, Mercedes-Benz, they're nice cars and they're 8 mil under panels. I'm going to go work for Mercedes-Benz.
But you're Audi certified?
And then he took the panel
So
down. He's
it's
like,
funny
"Damn."
you say that. I am Audi certified.
Bring your mic up.
He is. He's
Can-
an Audi.
when- how can I stop this from sagging?
You got
gonna
tight in
br-
it.
Am I going to break it if I
Guys,
crank
don't
it?
worry. Joel's next. Joel's next.
Joel's next.
Joel's
He wants
new.
He wants the
I think I
spotlight.
got it.
There you go.
No, I am Audi certified. When I did 2 years in college, got my associate's degree, it was the Audi program.
So can you tell me what the toughest car was to work on?
The toughest car?
Toughest car. Tell me what the toughest car.
I mean, at
His
the
85
time,
Ram.
Yeah. It's just that I don't want to work on that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it tough.
Yeah, at the time.
Honestly, it's like, the toughest. It's just like I just said, if you don't want to work on it, everything's tough.
Right.
But in all reality, I mean, it's what you're used to.
Right.
Honestly, I'm not used to working on BMWs. I used to work on Audis more. So BMWs are always a little harder. But like I said, it's,
What makes BMW harder?
come on, dude.
Tell me. Like,
I mean,
let 'em
he's
know.
making a good
Let-
point. When you have
It's
a
pretty
passion
tight,
for a
dude.
brand, it's
Yeah.
easier for you
No,
mentally.
I just
Yeah.
give them the facts. Why is BMW tougher? Because we have BMW guys that say, "Oh no, BMW."
Look, like I said, honestly, if you're a BMW master tech or just even a tech that's been there, it's eventually going to be easy to work on, but it's like all about when you first start, you think about it, I always thought it was tight. They were tight and they were, you need special tools for a lot of things.
You know what I always say? We always have a debate. We always argue. They haven't even seen that.
Oh yeah.
podcast yet.
Mike and I always argue.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. I'm always right and he's always right. So
Yeah.
there's like no in between.
But in reality, I'm usually right.
But this is the way I look
Oh
at BMW.
my
No,
God.
this is the way I look at BMW. Like I've worked on both.
Oh, have you? What have you worked on?
Oh, here we go.
Oh
What have you
we
done
go.
on a BMW, Mike?
Timestamp. Timestamp. What are we at? 17 minutes? Let's see how long this goes for.
Done an alternator.
Oh, wow. An alternator.
You should have
You
seen.
sublet the valve cover.
You should have
gasket.
seen.
Hey,
No, hold on. Hold
BMW.
on. Back when it was just me and Mike, okay? I remember you were working on that 3 Series. And that was before we had the wall upstairs separating the office
Yeah.
and the shop. All out here, I was trying to work on my car. What the fuck is this? God damn it. Tool thing thrown on the ground. Fuck this BMW thing. This is the last time I'm working on one of these.
It's funny because there's BMW tech saying that about a Mercedes.
Exactly.
No, it is.
Yeah.
There is. But you want to know what's so funny is like Sebastian, remember this, is when it was me, Sebastian, and Jack. And I don't remember what happened,
Who's
but
Jack?
there was Jack. Jack was one of our
Who's
previous.
Jack?
Jack was one of our previous
He brought
employees.
Jack in the last
All right,
episode.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah,
You didn't know
Sebastian was first, and Jack
know
was
Jack.
second. And Jack watched the podcast. He says he loved it. We love you, Jack.
Love you, Jack.
What's up,
You
Jack?
know, so what I'm basically trying to say was it was me, Sebastian, and Jack.
Yeah.
And I will never forget, we were sitting upstairs, and I'm like, we're done. I told Sebastian because we built the website, so we're like look like a European shop, but I really mainly want to specialize in just Mercedes. But he was like, dude, we just need the bid. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
So we had a
Dude,
Nissan 350Z.
I told Sebastian, I'm like, we're done doing BMWs. Take it off the website. This. As soon as I say that, the phone rings. I answer the phone.
Hey, I got
the
a
guys, hey.
335i. I need a water pump done.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Instant. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we can take it.
Yeah, we'll do
Hang
it.
up the phone. I'm like, all right, one more.
That's like the engine policy, right?
Oh, we're not even getting on the engine policy.
Oh, we got to
Yeah.
definitely talk about that.
We're gonna talk about the engines. I mean, one of our videos went viral on the AMG engine that
Yeah.
was $45,000.
We'll get back to
Yeah,
that.
let's get to
we got
Joel.
Joel.
Let's get to Joel.
Yeah. No.
No.
There it is.
If you guys watch the first podcast, you know what that was all about.
Let's talk about Sebastian.
No, seriously.
A lot of grab ass in that one.
No, I know. Okay.
You're getting called out, Mike. What are you
I
going to do
am,
about
I am,
this?
I am.
See,
No.
Sebastian and Zach will let Mike talk. I won't.
Yeah.
Who said I let him talk? How many times did I interrupt you guys this morning?
True, you were in a bad mood this morning.
I was in a bad mood. I was sick of you.
Sick of me? How can you be sick of me?
All right, no, let's
Love you,
get
Adam.
back on track. Let's get back
buddy.
on track. We were talking
All right.
about he worked in a dealership for how long?
Me?
Yeah. We're going back to you.
Actually, I said 5. It's just about 6. I'm going to correct myself.
About 6.
Yep.
Now tell me, dude.
Yeah.
You're working in a dealership for 6 years.
Yeah.
You had did you have a lot of credentials?
Oh yeah.
So tell me some of those that you had.
Well, I'm fully EQ certified.
Okay. What is EQ?
Electric vehicles.
Okay.
So
Not
that's
everybody
the
knows that.
EQ line is all electric, not a hybrid. It's all electric. EQE, EQB.
Were you like one of the first ones at the dealer or no?
One of them. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. One of them.
Okay.
And I also had case access, which means like engineer, and you can talk to engineer. Not a lot of techs have that, but I was granted that access.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever opened out your own case?
Multiple,
Especially.
especially on the newer cars.
Now, why did they give you access to it?
Well, because like I said, it's, like you guys say, it's all about passion,
Passion.
and it wasn't totally about the paycheck for me. So I didn't mind spending the extra time kind of trying to find the problem.
And that's what means a lot. And
Yep.
to me, that's a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it kind of, there's like I'm not gonna mention his name, but I work next to a kid fresh out of school, and he is very passionate about working on cars, not just Mercedes, but pretty much. I mean, Porsche specifically,
Right.
but he was a very good technician. You could tell he's passionate, and he learned very quickly.
Is he green? So you're saying
Very
he's green?
green.
Very green.
At this point, yeah, he's still green.
And you know what's crazy is like these young guys need to understand it's like everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching. and-
Everybody's watching. That's what everybody doesn't understand.
Yep. A lot of these newer kids come in, some of them are great, some of them aren't. That's any job. But if you have a big ego, it can be a problem. And every technician can see the new guys, obviously. And if they see that you have a big ego, they're going to be less likely to help you out.
Yep.
I didn't mean to cut you off,
That's
but do you feel like these young kids, like the ones that stand out, do you feel like they're, how do I put this into words? Do you feel like what they do doesn't get relayed to certain people a different way? Like the people that actually matter. So
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what the shop setup is.
Yep.
I've worked at a shop where there was 2 buildings,
Yep.
and a lot of the management and the people that quote unquote mattered
Right.
were in the other building, and
Right.
a lot of the kids got put in my building.
Right.
Kind of thrown to the wolves, and
Right.
sometimes they'd be doing great, sometimes they wouldn't, and if it wouldn't be properly relayed
Right.
if they were doing good or bad.
Well, that's like one of the things that stand out to me because I know where you're coming from,
Right.
and we used to be in that situation, and I feel like sometimes we just feel like we're not getting the recognition that we should.
Right.
And for an example, you're talking about this guy,
Yep.
right? And I just feel like the people that actually really matter don't see it like that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
why are we sitting in this shop right now knowing that what this kid has? But I can tell you right now, we know the guy that's, sitting on the beach right now has no idea who this kid is.
Right. Why?
Why?
Why are we sitting in this shop?
No, I'm not saying why we are, but like,
I kind of lost you on that one.
me too. All three of us were like,
yeah, no,
what's the
but I'm
question?
saying like, why? No, we're talking about this kid and we're sitting in this shop right now.
Right.
Okay? Like, we're sitting in this.
Well, it's tech appreciation. That's a
Right.
big factor.
What I'm trying to say is I just feel like the people that are really, really high up has no idea what this kid is delivering. And we
right.
know
I mean,
what he's delivering, and we're showcasing that right here in the shop. That's why I said, why are we in this shop showcasing what this kid can do?
Right.
Or-
I mean, it's a big question,
That's how it always should have been.
It's how it
Right.
always should have been.
I
That's
mean,
what-
I could tell everybody this story about when I was leaving the dealer, about the guy who was talking to me before I left.
Right. Well, we
I
could.
could.
Yeah, we could all get in.
But I think Joel's turn.
Yeah.
To introduce himself.
No, absolutely. We're gonna
Cool with that.
We're gonna cut him off.
Yep.
All right.
Bye, Adam.
My man,
Bye-bye.
Joel Cimino, my very first Mercedes-Benz technician hired here at 603 MTech Auto Works.
First child.
So tell me, Joel,
Got the first child.
where did it all start? Because in the podcast, I told him you're removing the engine out of that little car.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Yeah, it took me a few years to be able to do that.
Took some time.
No, I love his story. So let us know, Joel.
How far back you want to go? Maybe
Do the
like
eBay. That's my favorite.
the eBay stuff?
eBay.
Oh, I mean, I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay.
That Mercedes car.
No. We're
Car
gonna,
related, please.
I-
No,
No, no.
you bought your first car.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want
I
to
did
really
buy my
know
first
where
car.
you knew. I want the very first moment that you knew that you wanted to be in this industry, like just wherever that starts.
So he kind of brought up the eBay thing. I mean, I bought a 1995 C-Class off of eBay for I think it was like $1,500.
How old were you?
I was 15 years old.
Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to use eBay.
Yeah, so I put in a bid last second. Of course, I won. I woke up the next day. I'm like, oh man. So
That's a Joel story.
yeah. So I had the car delivered from Pennsylvania. They towed it all the way to Nashua, New Hampshire. So
How much did that cost?
I think maybe $300-400.
You had this money at 15?
Dude, that's what I was gonna get at.
24
Or
in my bank
should I
account.
not ask where the money came from?
Yeah. I don't,
Okay. We'll bury that under the rug. We didn't ask.
yeah. So
Public.
I guess what made me kind of get into the mechanics of it was my ignition actually broke. and I tried to keep turning it, and it was stuck in the first position. I turned it so hard the key snapped off in there, and I didn't know how to start the car. I've never done anything on a car before. Like, I had zero car knowledge. So I actually drilled out the ignition, and I got it to start with a screwdriver. So I was driving around. You know, I used to walk around with a screwdriver in my pocket all the time to start my car.
I promise it's my car.
Yeah. After that, you guys all know the 95, the biodegradable wiring harness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the car caught on fire on Main Street. I kind of just...
Of course.
Yeah, I just let it happen.
If you guys know nothing about Joel, that story right there summed him up entirely.
All right, we're gonna go off topic.
Well, that's a Joel story.
That was a Joel story.
One of many.
So now listen to this. Listen to this. So his car caught on fire. What do you have a picture of?
Oh, actually, on my Facebook banner, it's a black older Mercedes on fire. Yeah.
I thought that was your car.
Yeah.
No, that's actually oil painting.
All right, so give us some more.
I guess what really got me into cars is I was kind of like Sebastian. I used to sit at like a desk and do computer stuff. I don't think anybody really knew this, but I used to do like Java programming and coding and stuff like that. That's what I studied in high school. And it kind of got boring to me, you know, sitting down in a chair all day. It kind of hurt my back. I wanted to work more with my hands. And in high school, I kind of had the option. You know, sometimes they came and tried to recruit people. I was going to join the military, and then somebody from UTI came in, and I just jumped into it. I really didn't know anything about cars when I started UTI. I did the core program, and then, you know, I took the Mercedes elective after, and just started with Benz right away. So different story from you guys. You know?
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what is UTI?
Universal Technical Institute. It's not around really in Massachusetts anymore. It's now like on the west side. I swear I saw Mike there one time because I know he went there too.
I went to
Yeah, I could have swore I saw you one time on our lunch break. It was like 2015.
So you went to the one in Norwood?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you went to the one in Florida or something.
No, that was right when I graduated. Okay. I got recruited right out to a dealership when I graduated.
Can you tell them like what UTI is all about?
I mean, they kind of teach you all the core vehicle stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of it.
Yeah,
But it's an automotive school.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not automotive school.
Yeah, so basically what they do is it's just strictly automotive. There's no like English or math class or anything like that. It's just strictly automotive.
Yep, just everything about cars.
It's
Automotive. Nice. Yeah, it's automotive technology. So there's no what is this? You know, we're not gonna go there, but you know what I'm saying. It's just straight automotive, and then after automotive technology, there's another program. Did you take that one, or you just?
I did, yeah.
What program was that?
I took the Mercedes-Benz Elite program, the Elite Start, and that's not around anymore.
It's not around anymore, but can you let these young fellows know what that's all about?
They kind of taught you like how to use the Exentry scan tool for Mercedes. They taught you how to look up documents on WIS and how a bunch of different, you know, like how to read wiring diagrams and what all the little different symbols mean, like just for Mercedes.
Right. So this was a Mercedes actual course.
Yeah.
So so it's basically like Mercedes school, best way to put it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like a crash course on Mercedes. That's the best way to put it.
So there's like two different courses. I think I took the Star Elite as well. I think that's like 3 months. There's like two of them.
Yeah, it was about 3 months or so.
Yeah, so there's
maybe
like,
6. I think it was 6 months.
Yeah, the class that we took isn't available anymore. Now I think I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't know what it is and I don't want to mess it up. But I believe now the next course is you basically get in this class and basically a dealership sponsors you, and then you take this class for X, Y, and Z, and then once you graduate, a dealership hires you. And sometimes you're under contract. I don't know, sometimes you may not be, but that is honestly a very, very good way to get in the dealership. That's how myself got into the dealership, and that's how Joel got into a dealership. I do think when you're in the bigger cities, this is what's going to help you get into these dealerships. I feel like if you're in a smaller town, it may be very, very easy for you with automotive technology background to get into a local dealership. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. You can still apply and everything like that. But I believe in the big cities, I feel like it's a lot harder because there's a lot more dealerships and there's a lot more people.
I actually forgot to mention we graduated with Mercedes certifications already.
Were you base certified?
Yeah.
Base certified?
Yeah. So when I graduated that class, I was base certified.
Right.
It
Yeah,
gives you a little extra foot in the door, you know.
And that's huge, especially if the dealership doesn't, send you to school as much as you'd want to go. Being base certified right out at the gate is just great.
Right.
You can go to all sorts
definitely
of
helps,
other
yeah.
classes.
Right. And so you graduated the Mercedes program, and then what happened?
So pretty much like right at the end of the class, a dealership from Florida came up, and they were talking to all the people there, and they came up to me and they said, "This is what our plan would be if you were to move down." And I just said yes, and I just moved right down to Florida. I was 19 years old, fresh out of college.
What part of Florida?
Jacksonville.
Hell yeah. Did they give you an orange hat? They didn't give you any merch?
No.
They gave me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike's special.
I got a hat.
Oh, actually, I think they gave me a notebook.
Yeah, they give you something.
Yeah.
But that dealership at the time,
iPads didn't exist.
was killing it. That dealership at the time was very big. They got a race team and everything like that.
Yeah, the race team was awesome. I always used to go back there
Right.
and talk to the guys
Yeah.
and building like track cars.
Right. And that's awesome for those dealerships to really reach these schools and try to recruit these, young guys, which I think needs to happen way more.
Right. Honestly, like if there's something in common right now is education.
Education.
I think there's some kids that I've worked with that came in with absolutely no education, and the kids that came with education, massive difference.
Massive difference.
Some people say, oh, it's not the days where it's like, oh, you don't need school to work on cars. It's not 1975 anymore. A lot of these cars are rolling computers.
Right.
You need an education behind you.
Right.
And like you don't need to go to UTI or whatever, NHOU or whatever. Great schools. A little expensive sometimes is local community colleges, especially around our area, and it's not as expensive. So it's an education, like I said, is very important.
Very important. And this is going back to where we said that, how he thought when he was hired at a tire shop,
Yep.
how he was a difference maker. And I believe like when you get in school, if you get in school and you want to do automotive, you have to be a difference maker. You have to, pay
Right.
attention. There's going to be I'm telling you right now, everything that you learn in school, you might not be able to say, super apply in a shop. You're going to learn a lot when you get in a shop. That's when you're going to learn the most.
Big time. You're going to learn probably 80% in the field, but
Right.
that 20% when you first show up is
Right.
huge.
Yeah,
It's
but
a foundation, really.
You shouldn't be walking into a Mercedes dealership with no automotive background and you don't even know what an alternator does.
Right. I've had one where a kid came in and didn't even know what a battery did.
Right.
And honestly, like props to him for giving it a shot.
No.
I'm not bashing on him,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it's kind of like just in my situation, if you want techs to help you out, you really got to at least educate yourself
Right.
or go to school
Right.
and get
Right.
educated. It's just,
I'll
it's one
agree
of
with
those
that.
things.
That is like a book smart thing. Like Universal Tech Institute, it was all book smart. Like I
Right.
didn't really learn until I stepped foot in a dealership.
Right. And you get
Yeah.
you get what you put into it too, 100%.
Definitely.
So after you went to Jacksonville, you're in New Hampshire now. So where did you go from Jacksonville?
From Jacksonville, I moved to Cape Cod. My dad lives over there.
Okay.
The dealer's not around anymore. It was really tiny. There was
Yep.
maybe 5 or 7 techs.
Yep.
Stayed there for a little while, and after that, I met back up with Mike. What was it? Linfield.
Yep.
Yep. So me and Mike worked together again, and yeah, I think I've worked at maybe 4 different dealers.
So, and then after Linfield, we linked up back again at our local dealership here in Manchester.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So we worked at 2 dealers together.
Together. All right, cool.
Yeah. And 1 independent.
What independent?
Really?
Here.
What one? Oh,
This one.
I thought you meant in your past.
Got him.
So I gotta. I mean, so there's actually a 5th one, other than Mercedes. So you went to Lexus.
I did.
Tell me about Lexus.
Ooh, Lexus. The jack stands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Give us a little
Yeah.
something about Lexus.
I mean, what about it? I mean, they were a little easier, and we got a customer calling right now.
They want to be on the podcast.
Podcast is more
Yeah, they want to
important,
ask
man.
questions live.
So tell me about the jack stands, honestly.
No.
That was my favorite.
Let's wait for this thing to start.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
let's wait
fine.
for that
Keep
real
going.
quick.
You don't hear it on the mics.
I'll touch on that.
Sebastian told
I'll
me how
tell
this
you about
mic
it.
worked. It only covers this area.
All right. So tell me about your time at the Lexus dealership.
Not really too sure what to say about it. It's definitely not Mercedes. I had a huge learning curve when I first got there,
Yep.
you know, trying to look up like specs and stuff like that. And, you know, I think the thing that bothered me the most is they don't have wheel studs. They have the wheel, you know, the wheel nuts instead. So that was pretty annoying to
Yeah,
start.
those suck. Starting them up with my hands.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So,
I preferred that. What are you talking about?
right.
What?
Yeah, I was all
What are you
about
talking
that.
about?
Yeah,
This
no
guy
way.
just likes to work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, all right, so after Lexus, now you're here.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I want
why
to go
here?
back because I know it's screaming
Yeah.
at him in its head.
Dude, because I'm like, honestly, he's about to tell you the story, but it's a dealership, and
Yeah.
they have plenty of. They have a deep wallet, so tell them.
Yeah, so they used to
But they don't use
drop
it.
subframes down on jack stands.
What do they not have?
An engine table. I
Right.
actually went to the GM and I told him about the engine table. I don't think he ever saw it before because I showed him a picture of it. He's like, "What?"
That's a step up from the Toyota dealer I worked at. They would drop
Yeah.
engines down on the subframes down onto a pallet.
Right.
How fast did I buy an engine table?
That's like the first thing
Yeah.
you need.
That was like 2 months into me working here.
Right.
That's
I
like
instantly
something-
Not
bought
even
it.
actually, maybe a month.
But see, this
That's
is
not
how,
even a want. It's a need.
To
It's-
me.
it's a want
Ultrasonic
and a
cleaner.
need, but I'm-
Ultrasonic
I
cleaner
didn't
is
even know
a
that
want.
thing existed because I came from Toyota where they would just drop it on a pallet.
On a pallet.
On a pallet, dude. No jack stands, no engine table. They would lower the car down, get on the ground, unbolt it, and then leave it on the pallet and lift the car back
one,
up.
who wants to lay on the ground, and two, it's more efficient to be able to move the engine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
On the pallet.
Yeah.
and that's why I never wanted to be in that situation when I was by myself. I bought the engine table. I didn't even have an engine job. But I'm telling you, as soon as I bought that engine table,
Well,
it's
we
like,
used it on that Black Series CLK.
yeah, but I had it before then.
No, we bought it for that.
No, we didn't.
Oh, here we go.
I swear we bought it and then we used it for that job because you dropped the rear subframe out of that car.
But
I think that was the first job we used it for.
yeah, Seabass is
Sebastian-
probably right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sebastian-
you did tell me you
Seabass
did the
doesn't
rear
lie.
subframe.
No,
'Cause
I did do
I
it, but
made the video of us
Sebastian's
doing
memory
it.
is pretty good.
yeah, but a lot of times, like how
Thanks.
I do things is like I buy something, I don't need it right now, but then we'll use it.
That's true, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we used it like
Like
immediately.
like
though.
what?
Here comes the debate.
This lift right here, I bought it.
How about those walkie-talkies you just ordered from Amazon?
Yeah,
Super excited for
Tell
those.
us about Telegram.
Oh, Adam.
All right.
I honestly, how about you pitch it to the podcast the way you pitched it to us?
So basically, my problem is like, I want to, shop communication, right? So I want to be able to communicate with all my fellow coworkers, because they're on computers and their phones. So I suggested, Telegram, right? Not a sponsor. And because when you send a message, it pops up on your desktop and your phone, right? Instead of just texting where it's just the phone. And these guys weren't having it.
You
It
just
made
text
sense
us.
to me.
You can just text us.
Yeah, Joel is always on board.
Adam's not allowed to use Telegram. Zach's not allowed to use Bing.
Yeah.
See, texting,
Yeah.
I text you and you're on the computer.
Yeah.
It's a
You-
rule.
You don't see the phone. all
I
the
always
time.
respond.
Well, you have an Apple Watch.
I'll be honest with you. I think if we're gonna send a message, like, all right, no, let's make a pool
See, this
right
is-
now. If we had to send a message to somebody, who would it most likely be?
Zach.
Who do you think?
Hold on, can I clarify something?
No, say it.
No, I want to clarify something. How long
here we
did
go.
Telegram last?
No.
That's because you guys
2 days.
refused to
No,
work.
one day.
Use it.
One day.
You guys refused to use it.
Who got the most use out of it? Joel on your computer.
No, but seriously, who would we most likely?
Zach.
Who are you gonna say?
I don't message anyone.
No.
bro.
I know, but
Seabass
if you looking in, what would you say?
See, if I was a tech,
Yeah,
either you or Zach.
I'm saying Zach. And
Right.
where Zach is not most of the time
Right.
at his computer.
My boy Zach, love you, buddy, but I'll be honest. Like I already told him, I'm like I'll text him.
Don't talk bad about him.
And
Don't
I'm not
talk bad
talking
about
bad.
him.
I'm not talking bad.
I'll censor this.
I'm saying
Don't
this is
talk
why I
bad about
brought
him.
up the Telegram. It's because if I were to text him, he'd be busy dealing with clients or whatever, or making a quote on the computer, and he wouldn't see it for quite some time. So if it popped up on the computer, he would see it.
You'd probably ignore it because he's busy.
No, every time I did it, he answered.
Internal notes.
That didn't work.
I don't get
that
notifications.
Because he
didn't
didn't have
work.
his notifications on.
You got to fix mine too. Then
I watched him close Telegram after you
hey,
left the
dude,
room.
does internal notes pop up
Hey,
on
did
your
you see
phone?
my internal note?
No. Does it because it doesn't pop up on my phone?
Zach's all right.
Oh.
Does internal
all that
notes
matters.
pop up on the phone?
All right, let's get back on topic
All
here.
All right. Anyways.
See,
Let's get back
All
on
right.
topic.
So-
I try to be, I try
Right.
to be good for the shop, and everybody shuts it down.
Yeah.
Just text me.
So, Joel.
Unappreciated.
Unappreciated shop foreman.
Yeah, getting back on track here. You said you worked at Lexus. Great. And you had to drop the engines with jack stands, which is just terrible.
Yeah.
For no reason.
So what made you want to get into the independent world? What made you choose 603 MTech AutoWorks? Well, at that time, it was 603 MTech and Mobile Service, LLC.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Same thing to me.
Yeah.
Still like working here. So I said the same thing to them I said to you. I don't really care about the money. I just want to be happy.
Right.
And I just wasn't that happy. I actually called you in the middle of the day working there. And you were like, you called me at the right time. And, we talked about everything just like it should be in the industry in general.
Right.
Like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And you tell me what you want.
Right.
And,
So a lot
it's
of people,
simple as that.
Right. No, absolutely. So a lot of people don't know that me and Joel were very, very close. When we worked at the previous dealership, we were lunch buddies. We would go to Buffalo Wild Wings down the road, and we would talk about what could make a shop be great. And we actually just talked about even if we owned our own shop and how great it could be and the things that we would change to make it better. And it's honestly, it means the world to me that he reached out to me and we were able to make this happen. Definitely one of the closest ones to me. And it's that right there that I remember the day he messaged me, it really, honestly, it really touched me. And it just like everything that we talked about, it just kind of all came together. And then now we're here. We went from being lunch buddies to this.
This is exactly what we talked about.
No.
And I will say I was a little upset that you didn't call me first.
Hey, so what about the social media?
So who did I call first?
I guess it might have just worked out without having to call anybody. I don't
Mike
think you
thought
really.
he'd do it himself, but
You know what? Actually, I wouldn't have
Joel,
done the mobile
what'd
thing.
you do with the Facebook page for 603 MTech?
Oh yeah, so no, it was the Instagram.
The Instagram.
So I saw Mike doing everything that we talked about, and I didn't hear anything about it. So I muted his story for a little while.
You didn't like what he had
that
to
out.
see.
Yeah, but
He
I
told me.
Yeah, I know.
No, I told him.
And you know what? There's plenty of people that still mute our page.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that chime in but don't have anything to say, which that's what makes us great.
It was a little different for me though, because like that's exactly what I wanted, and when I saw you doing it, you
Right.
know, and it kind of hurt to see a little bit because things didn't work out for me the way they worked out
Right.
for everybody else.
But you shouldn't take any offense from me not reaching out because
Oh,
at
no,
this
I don't.
point I feel like you should know how I operate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, I wanted to work for you. That's how it worked.
All right.
See,
but I
everything
wanted you
happens
to
for a
work for
reason.
me. I don't act like I didn't want you to work.
Oh,
for
no,
me.
I know.
No,
It's
honest-
just how it's gonna come together.
I'm
I
gonna
want
cut
it
you
to-
guys off here because we
Yeah, you guys
got
cut it.
17 minutes and we have
At
questions
the end,
to answer.
everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. But that's the intro of what we're all about.
Everything worked out perfect.
All right, we're at
I
the.
mean, Mike shut me down too. If you want me to be honest, he shut me down
That's
big
okay.
time.
I'm first gonna ask you. On,
You know what I'm talking about. We got questions.
We got questions.
I didn't shut you down. Say what you want to say.
It's not for this podcast.
Say what you want to say.
next episode.
Say what you want to say, bud.
Next episode.
Okay.
All right. This question
You hurt
comes
my
from our
feelings.
last real post on Instagram.
Okay.
He says, setting up a question for next podcast. As a shop that does a lot of services, how do you feel about custom/modified work? Next question. Do you plan to do some of your own builds or are there custom builds coming up? And we don't really have an answer to this because we don't have a favorite build that we have done.
I have a little bit of an answer to that.
Right.
There's no GLK 63. I think we should do that.
Mike?
Just saying. I've been talking to Mike about
We got a
that.
fabricator right here.
We do.
We do.
That would be badass.
So, on a topic of modifications, right now we're mainly like a service and repair shop because we're very small and we're just able to get that stuff in and out. I will say the modifications can be tough because that's not what we're really used to. And like, I'm the guy to just tell you straight up, like, if we don't know how to do it, we don't know how to do it. Now, can we, put an upgraded turbo in there and everything like that? Absolutely. And what our plans are for the future is I do plan on purchasing a shop car and I do plan on making some modifications and maybe, presenting it to the world one day, maybe at a SEMA show or anything like that. But that is in the works. But right now we're in our third year of business, and we're just focusing on trying to make it into a bigger shop. And for us to do that, we have to focus on what we're the best at. And that's, fixing these cars and getting customers in, our customer service, everything like that. So as far as the modifications, I got nothing against it. I got nothing against performance shops or anything like that. I think they're great. I do support them.
Kudos to them, honestly.
Kudos, 100%. You know what I mean? But that's what they focus on, and that's what they're great at. We focus on service and repair. And like I said, we're never going to overhype ourselves on those type of repairs.
I think the biggest thing of modifications is if they're well done or not. We have a problem with, if it's like a cheap modification or not. That's our problem. Like if someone does a cheap lowering kit and then next thing you know they're complaining about a knocking noise. It's sometimes it's hard to say, hey, look, we know you just spent the money on this lowering kit, whatever. But honestly, it's your lowering kit that's causing the knocking noise. The springs hitting this or the shocks doing this. And sometimes it's kind of a tough pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, like if you are going to modify your Mercedes-Benz, especially, you can't cheap out.
No,
You definitely can't cheap out. And I will say, myself being here for 3 years, I've dealt with it so many times.
Absolutely.
Somebody getting a tune, their spark plugs are fouled out.
Yep.
It's misfiring. Needs an injector. I mean, you're working all these components a lot harder.
Yeah, harder than they should.
You like you said, you lower your car, and now you're complaining about a noise, and you're coming to a shop, and first thing we see is it's on cheap coilovers. What do you want us to do? And that's what I said. You got to help us help you.
Biggest thing is, like you said, the misfiring.
Oh, yeah.
We get a lot. Hey, we just tuned our car last week and it's misfiring. It's like, look, honestly, we can obviously double check it, make sure. But if everything looks good on our end, it's probably the tune.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's just.
Well, as a tech, that's always the first thing we recommend. Let's undo that.
Right.
That's the first. That's where you got to start.
You need to go back to the basics.
And like I said, when I get on the phone with somebody, I'm like, oh, yeah, I just got a tune and now it's misfiring. Right. Okay. Did it do it before the tune? No. Okay.
Exactly.
What do you think it could be, Mike?
But
what would I say on the phone? I'd probably say, okay, now what's next?
Exactly.
What do you want?
Exactly. But I was really impressed. We had a guy come in from New York, GT53.
Yep.
We have a video, and he had a upgraded, a rebuilt turbo, I should say, and a Rentec tune. And honestly, it was very quick, and it looked very almost OEM. Like it felt really good. But the guy spent the money.
He spent the money.
That's the biggest thing I got to say about modifications.
All right. I just want to say you guys asked a lot of great questions. We won't be able to get to all of them today, but just keep asking them each week. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. But let's start with, what are some things people don't realize goes into a shop? Or should I say running a shop?
Oh, honestly, man, it's a really tough question.
Employee personal life.
I would say definitely the very first thing I didn't realize is definitely personal life. It's a lot different now. I'm just by myself now, so all I do is focus on myself and I focus on my guys. That's what matters to me. Like anybody on the outside, I'm sorry, but this is just what it is. But previously, I would say it's the outside life, and it's funny because I had met with a previous, he actually owns a shop in Merrimack. He's got a big shop, does European, and I remember he basically explained it to me. He's like, you're going to lose your personal life. And he's spot on about that. So I would say that is one of the biggest things is definitely personal life. And you definitely start to get a lot of, feedback from people that you least expected it. And I would say bad feedback and good feedback. But I will tell you, if you're good at what you do, you're going to get way, way, way more better feedback than you would bad feedbacks. But like I said, it's just, you definitely lose the personal life. And then just understanding how to tolerate customers, employees, and then you got to deal with employees' personal life. That is one of the biggest things that I think hit me. I got 4 employees, and they all live different lives. They all live in different places, and to me, that was one of the other biggest things. But if you're going to open a shop, there's just too many aspects. I could sit here for an hour explaining how much detail actually goes into it. My head is spinning 24/7. The moment my alarm goes off, I'm thinking about business. Even when I'm not working, I'm thinking about business. We're going to Aruba.
You set an alarm?
I said,
Wow.
okay, all right, go next one. But no, honestly, there's so much to it, and I think on
No,
a
it
different,
makes it look easier than it is.
No.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
well, I just think it's just you definitely got to keep a lot of stuff in. There's just so much stuff that I've done that they have no idea, but
Right. No, honestly, not to grab ass or anything, but you make it like look easier than it is. And honestly, I think one of the biggest things that I admire what you do is you keep a level head.
right.
You really, I don't see you scream. Sometimes you come in with a load of hissy fits, but that's normal.
I've
usually
seen plenty of his
usually
hissy
it's
fits.
when you show up at 10 in the
Right.
morning.
Yeah.
But, and
What are those
a
called?
car's not moved. I don't know. What do you mean?
Business
Hissy-
hours?
Yeah.
Oh,
business
yeah.
owner hours?
No, yeah, I call them owner hours. We're 9 to 5, and this guy's 10:30 to 11. Owner hours.
And then what do I say? You don't even know what
you
I was
don't even
doing?
know. Yeah, you don't know
He
what I
goes,
was doing.
What do you think I was doing? I'm like, what were you doing? He goes, I was making phone calls with clients. I mean, you can't do that here.
My favorite
He
thing,
does put
Mike,
him on the spot.
Oh, I do. I always put him on the spot.
my
all right. I
favorite
like it.
thing about Mike, this happened before, like long before you guys. But Joel was here. Adam wasn't. When you would leave for a haircut, like 1 o'clock, you never came back.
I remember that was one time.
12 o'clock
for a haircut. we did that We never saw too.
you again.
This guy would be strolling in at like 10:30, 11 in the dealership with sunglasses
This man
on.
didn't even want to shoot a podcast without a haircut. And I'm over here. I don't get a haircut till Saturday.
Scruffy.
Yeah, you look scruffy, bro.
All right, next question. Next question.
No, but seriously, no. It's,
Next question.
Yeah.
This would be a quick one for you, Mike. How long until you became profitable?
We're not profitable
We're
yet.
profitable?
I'll be honest with you, man. A lot of people don't understand. Like, they see us making it big, but 3 years ago, I left the dealership and I purchased a van, and this shop was empty. When I left the dealership April 1st, I had this shop April 1st. That's when I signed the lease, and I just had to go out there and make money. So everything that you see is an investment. There's all this podcast equipment, everything like that was a big investment. So everything that we make basically goes back in the business. Now, I'm not saying we don't make money, but we don't, as I think everybody thinks we're killing it, which we are killing it, but we could do 20 times better. And if we were really killing it, we'd be in a 10,000 square foot shop, wrapping cars.
S-Class.
S-Class. I would be driving an S-Class. I'd be driving a 2024 S63.
Or an E43. Yeah.
Or you could be driving this E43.
What's this clapper behind us?
Yeah.
A wannabe AMG.
I
wanna be AMG.
I don't see no
Hey, that
signature
guy
on
in
the
the
engine.
GT53 took offense to that.
I don't see no signature on the engine.
I know he's
Adam.
watching it. Thank you again for coming.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
No, absolutely. But no, honestly, it's just like I said, we're not even there yet, and I probably won't be comfortable for another 3 more years. And that's just how I look at it. Like, this year is really, I call it the get over the hump year. We purchased all of our big equipment, tire machine, alignment machine, everything like that. But we're working on it.
And Mikey never cheaps out either. Got all
he
the best
doesn't.
Nah,
stuff.
yeah.
No, he has very expensive taste.
That's
for
why
sure.
you see the 75-inch TV that never gets used on the back TV. Just looks good.
Toilet paper? No, dude wipes.
Dude wipes. Mint chill.
I first came here, Joel's selling point to me was, oh, yeah, the dealership had sandpaper, toilet paper.
Listen.
We got dude wipes here. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Listen, if you own an automotive shop and you don't have dude wipes for your guys, you're doing it wrong.
Not a
Get
sponsor.
yourself some
Not a
dude
sponsor.
wipes.
Maybe someday.
Not a sponsor, but
Yeah.
definitely get some dude wipes.
Minty.
Mint
Honestly,
chill.
you changed my way, dude. I actually ordered something for myself.
I know.
Amazon.
Every time I see you guys walk out of the bathroom, this is how I see you. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
every
Mike,
time.
Mike
I'm gonna start
changed
doing
wiping
that.
my ass. I wipe my ass differently because of Mike.
No, anyways, straight up. The customers love the dude wipes too.
Yeah, they do mention it. They're like,
I
what
know.
is They're embarrassed to say it sometimes.
Next question.
This might start some arguments, but I think this is a good final question. You all ready? This is for the 3 of you.
All right.
We can go one by one. Least/most reliable model and year, in your opinion. Joel.
All right, let's pause. Let's pause. We all got to have it on our heads.
I already have it.
All right.
We all
Joel,
kind of
start
know
off.
what's good.
Let's
Go
hear
ahead.
it.
Least, I have to do year-end model. 2015 S550.
Okay. And your most?
Least.
That's Zach's dream car.
Hush. Your most?
W210 any year.
And do you have any reason to back up your choices?
Yeah, because W210 is a tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for the least reliable?
I mean, how many 222s around that year make it to 100,000 miles.
I can't speak on that.
All right.
I mean, a lot of them. If
Yeah,
they spend a lot of money.
Make it to it.
Good
All right,
cars. Good
Adam, least?
cars. Least reliable. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but the 206. Honestly,
Is that a CL?
a 206, the new C class.
Let him go.
So like,
We're not even
honestly,
seeing
like
those. We can
they're-
argue
they're-
after,
Look,
but let 'em
honestly,
go.
they're brand new.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But
Like,
no, hold on. Yeah, talk about it.
You're excited.
Yeah.
Let him finish.
A 206. Honestly, I worked on them. They break down a lot. They need a bunch of software updates. Obviously, it's brand new. I got to give them a chance. They're still coming out.
Okay.
But I will say at this moment in time, they're very unreliable
Okay. Now you say a W206.
because they're always breaking down.
What's your most reliable?
2018
No, none of that. None of that.
I mean, the most reliable, I would say like a solid 212, like a nice E class from obviously 212. What year is that? Oh, 9? Oh no. Oh,
How long have you been at Tech?
oh yeah. 2010
2010
to 15. I'd say
16.
16. 16. No,
wait.
No, it's 16.
It's 10 to
16, you're right,
16.
you're right.
The argument isn't about the least or most reliable. It's about the year range of a model. So that's what it's
I don't know.
happening.
Yeah,
10 to-
212 is
either way,
2000.
212.
Yeah, he's
I
right.
just think 212, very reliable car, good transmission, good engine.
Okay. Mike, least?
Least, I would say like anywhere from a 2013 to a 2015-16 GL 550.
Oh, I know. Yep.
What's the matter with those?
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, it's a little better than the S-Class answer. It has the same motor in it now.
Yeah, but there's just way more to go wrong. Axle boots, transfer case,
All the outer axle boots
Transfer
rip,
case?
yeah.
transfer case, output seal, input seal.
I've done like 3 of them here.
Those aren't that bad though.
They leak all the time. They leak at like 30,000 miles, bud.
30,000 miles.
30,000.
Yeah, but okay, so we're going back to the dealer talk.
Motor
here.
mount.
Well,
We
he
got
hasn't,
leak.
finished. Remember?
I know,
Let
we
him
got
finish.
leak and seep.
What's your most
I've never
reliable?
seen them leak.
What's your most reliable?
Most reliable was a 212.
Okay, so you agree there.
Yeah,
That's why all
212's
of our
good.
loader cars will try to be 212s.
212s. And
All
a
right,
204s
now you
good
can
down, too.
argue.
But
Go ahead.
I'm going to argue because this man is just throwing 206. I just feel like it's too new to say it's not reliable.
That's
he
a
did-
23.
But I want to know why.
That's the first
No,
year
no.
of the 206.
No, I know.
23 or 22?
But why is
What
the 206 unreliable? Because we haven't even seen those yet in the independent shops.
I know,
Yeah,
but
we have.
I saw them at the
Oh.
dealers. We've had a
Oh,
206.
yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, not the new C-Class. I didn't even know that model designation yet.
206 with a 254. Look,
Is
honestly,
that a 2020,
I worked on
2023
them.
or 2022? When does it start?
I believe it was like 2023.
3, right?
3? 4? Yeah, 3.
I think it's 3.
What makes it unreliable?
So-
The cylinder heads?
So I
They
will
just-
say you're right, the GLBs, yeah, but they're extended warranty, but the cylinder heads, I've probably done 40 cylinder heads on the 260 engines.
40. Did you hear that?
40, no, I'm serious.
Oh, yeah,
40,
that's a
40,
260
honestly,
motor.
I even up to say to 60.
They're gravy for him.
No, they are.
Yeah, that's
They're
gravy.
That's why he's-
everyone else, gravy is a B
I know
service.
there's
Him?
I know there's multiple Mercedes-Benz technicians out there that either work at the dealer, or just left. They've done a 260 cylinder head, maybe even a 264, and they know it's gravy.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah, it's a 20-hour ticket.
Right.
At first, when I first did it, it was 35 hours. I did
How fast are you doing?
5.5.
Oh.
Let Mercedes-Benz hear that.
They're going to drop the hours because you said that.
Sorry, dealer.
Sorry.
cars.
That's what they get for kicking us out of the club.
Yeah, true.
Kicked us out of the club.
We're kicked out of the Mercedes-Benz
Club.
club on Facebook.
Yeah.
USA
Somebody
technician
rat
only.
us up.
Oh,
you
no
know?
politics here.
No,
No
no,
politics.
No,
Somebody
no
rat
politics.
us up.
No politics here. It's
But-
fine.
but
we
no,
move on.
politics. We
Back-
just got
We
kicked
move
out.
on. We move
Back
on.
to the 206. Honestly, like they're pretty nice cars, but they're just, with the new 48 volt system, they're very buggy and they've been breaking down on people. And at this moment in time, the company doesn't really have an answer for that. Just from what I've seen, even when I was at the dealer, they'd come in brand new with check engine lights. Obviously, I'm not giving up on them. They're still brand new. It's still brand new, but at this moment in time, like you buy a car and it's breaking down on you.
You say it's buggy. Are you implying purely
The
electrical
software.
or
Of the
mechanical?
electrical.
So do
Like-
you think it could be an update kind of thing?
It's 100% software updates at this point, but there are brand new, like let's say the new C43s. The cylinder heads are grenading.
So
The valve springs. Are
So you're
broken.
telling me that the 48 volt system in every model is reliable.
No, okay. Right now, it's just the 206 that I'm having problems with.
I don't
So
think
you're
any
telling
48
me-
volt
So, and I
systems-
will say,
Say a
hold
year
on,
ago.
hold on. I will, no, even a
Before
year
the
ago, the
206.
E53s.
Buy a Chevy Volt, the most reliable
the
hybrid.
E53s, honestly, the
Towed in
40,
all the time.
towed in all the time. The 48 volt batteries,
Junk.
junk.
Say it. Say it.
Junk.
Junk.
Say
How
all,
much, hey,
say
do you know
all
how
of
much,
them.
how much is
Say
a
it.
48 volt battery?
I don't know, honestly.
I think, I'm pretty sure, it could be
They're
wrong.
pricey.
$3,000.
Yeah, they're pricey.
So here's the thing, right? We replace them left and right. A lot of guys would do DC-DC converters too, but it's usually just the battery. And they had a software update, right? And it would fix it like 1 out of 10 times. So like here at the end of the story,
So it didn't fix it.
It didn't really fix it. At the end of the
Moral
day,
of the
it's like,
story.
don't get me wrong, I love Mercedes-Benz, great brand, whatever, but they just have a lot of software issues they just need to take care of. That's all.
That's why you buy a 210.
Yeah, engineering has some work to do.
To be fair, in
That's
my
all.
6 months at Mercedes, I spent most of my time updating cars than anything.
A lot of it's software. Like I said
Get that
earlier
point
with the
three.
school,
Get that
these are
point three.
these are rolling computers.
Yep.
They're rolling computers, and you need to have that education.
Right, right.
That's what got me into it. I like computers and
Yeah,
just computer
exactly.
wheels on it.
Mike loves computers.
Right. All right, guys, man. I really appreciate you guys.
He's sick of it.
No, I'm not sick of it. I'm just saying.
We
I'm
just don't need an hour and
Yeah.
a half. At least we're all separately talking,
No.
not just Mike.
This one, honestly, guys, I really, honestly, I think I really like this one a lot. I think
A lot of key points.
A lot of key points. You guys really saw where we, started and how we got here, and which is, I think, is amazing. So, thank you guys for watching our second podcast. We appreciate you having you. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you. I'm not dancing this time. Or
I'm
I'm not dancing.
Yeah, because Adam said it
just
was
do it.
cringy.
It was a little cringy.
Joel, it's all up to you.
Put it down in the comment section if you think that dancing was cringy.
Come on, Adam. You're not going to dance?
Mikey, can I thank you for being an incredible podcast host today?
Mikey did
A
great
round
with
of
the
applause
questions.
for
I didn't talk
Mike.
over anybody.
Round
or
of
I
applause
did?
for Mike being a great host.
No, that was good. Mikey took it personal when I said he
I
talked
took it
about
personal,
himself.
so I hope this one was better, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
It wasn't the general consensus.